Yeah, so I just played Purrely. There's not like too much to say. The deck's pretty straightforward. You just kind of spam the level 1 Purrely out and try to get a bunch of advantage because it just dualities on summon every single time.
Mm-hmm.
And then you just make Noir, and Noir is just pretty much an unaffected towers that just is not once per turn. Place a card your opponent has to the bottom. So what I tried to do is just try and equip a bunch of the new spell that just draws one into your opponent's standby, and you just draw a bunch of hand traps, and then they have to out towers through hand traps, which is pretty impossible.
There is a very weird thing that I noticed. Because I tested the deck, but I'm not very familiar with the combos of this deck, if there are any weird combos. So the thing is, what I noticed is people usually go purely into plump or purely into the beauty. So when does it come up that you decide to go purely into plump or purely into beauty?
Always just depends on like how many spells you have in the game, like whether it be in graveyard or in hand. Obviously, if like either player has two or more spell cards, I usually just go for plump because then I can like get the pretty memory, which will just equip one of my opponent's cards, and then just that's an easy Noir. If I just have a bunch of hand traps, like I think you guys were watching like some of my games, where I would just make blue because I have like two or three hand traps, and then blue just turns into Zeus, and it's just an imperm. So if I have like no gas, I'll just go for blue, and then like they have to play through an imperm and hand traps, which is like kind of hard. But yeah, it's definitely just knowing like how far you're gonna get with that engine is like the hardest part about playing the deck. Like in the finals, I probably could have used another spell and keep going, but I was afraid of getting gammaed, and then I just like would just lose on the spot.
I see. And what about the Dark World stuff? Like, we saw different takes on the discard folders. So what's your take about this after this event?
Yeah, I don't know if I like it. I mean, I just can't find like a better replacement for it in my like little bit of testing I did. But I do like that it's essentially just it lets you activate as many spells as you want because snow just grabs snow into brow. So it's kind of like just an upstart. You just keep discarding, then you discard brow, and you just you thin your deck 4 cards, so you have a higher chance of just drawing like a talent or another spell or a hand trap, which I like.
We heard about another option, the option with the tier element cards. Would you like to talk about those things in order to let other people pip the goo and try new stuff as well?
Yeah, I will say the Purrely cards are definitely not figured out yet. The fact that they discard for effect lets you you could do some crazy stuff with them. I just like wanted to play something that I was like confident with, but there are definitely like some pretty crazy cards you can discard. Like tier limit cards, just search tier limit cards to let you combo. There's even no like normal summon in this deck, so you can discard Solic at Rhino and then like just play a tier deck. And then like that's spells engraved for the plump. And then there's like Naturia, you discard like the trap, add Camella, normal Camella, and just do Camella things. I don't know if there's any synergy with like the being the level 1s on field, but I'm sure like Camella's a level 4 tuner, so
no, I think I like that. But maybe the engine of the Naturia cards, like it's too much engine for Naturia. I mean, maybe a small package, but then you have also to play the break. That's the quick spell. I think I don't know if I like that, but I was very interested when you guys were talking about the tier element combo, in which you can pitch Salic, add Rhino, then you can. You pitch Scream. You pitch Scream, add
Solic. Yeah, and then that's 2 free spells for your plump to keep going, and then I think
then you can link
Lucas
bot into the cross ship, normal summon Rhino, fusion summon using a monster in the graveyard because you can go into Linguribo, summon Mod Dragon, right? And then you can special summon from the graveyard using the cross ship.
Yeah, it's like I don't know if you guys tested Mana Dome, but when they use Cross Sheep to revive Prisma, because it's like a soft once per turn.
Yeah.
Like reviving Purrely is also just like really good because you mill or you get to activate a Purrely spell, and then that Purrely just becomes an extra deck monster. So
yeah.
I definitely think that I have a lot of testing, so probably gonna play this at Philly.
Bro, I think you try the tier stuff. I think it's super interesting.
Yeah, I have a lot of exploring. I did zero prep for this event. So
I mean, your deck list doesn't look bad except for the 2 ogre, but that's about it.
I didn't think it was high enough impact, and then I started playing. I'm like, wait a minute, ogre is like the best card in my deck.
Yeah.
I don't know about Nib in the future. I don't think I dropped Nib against Cash, but I don't know.
I think Nibiru, you can probably play without Nibiru. I would probably play Gamma in the main deck. I like Gamma. I got
trolled a lot.
I think Gamma was the MVP this tournament.
The only thing I didn't like about Gamma is that if you do like pop off, or you're able to like combo through a bunch of hand traps sometimes. Like one of my games, I got Nib Gamma Veilered, and I still just ended on the towers because the continuous spell just lets you do that. But I drew I didn't like the fact that I would draw into Gamma like a card that's just like completely useless on my standby phase, because that is what I go for. If possible, I go for the draw 6 combo. You just plump, draw 3, and then use a trap, draw 3 more, and you just should hit like one of every hand trap. But,
okay, which cards were the MVP during this tournament, in your opinion? Or for the new set, which cards are the MVP?
Tactics is really good. I played 2 mirrors, and like this deck has no way to stop spells or traps. So like against Hassam in I think it was top 8, he like just potted into Xyz's Encore. I just ate it in Xyz's Encore, which kind of sucked, but I was like, I really can't stop that.
Wait, who's Izon?
Hassam Jawari?
No, oh, you're talking about Ani's brother. Okay.
Yeah.
Ani's brother.
Yes.
Oh, we don't call him with his name. It's Ani's brother.
Oh, sorry. Honey's brother. Yeah, he like Xyz's Encore beat, and I was like, that's rough. But yeah, Tactics is really good for mirrors, because like as soon as that Purrely is unaffected, you just like win the game with Tactics. You just steal it, and like the game's just over. You just Zeus them and you win. Obviously the new spell card is like really good. Just free advantage. Like game 1 against Lucas, like you saw how fast it like snowballs. I like at the end of that second turn, I just had 6 cards in hand or whatever. Like if you're not killing me, I'd just kill you. And then Curry Caro is actually insane too. I feel like that it's obvious, because a lot of people focus on the Purrelys, and there's a couple times where my opponents will make like big boards, they'll negate everything, I'll just Curry Caro them for game. It's also level 1, so you can like overlay.
There is also another thing that we might have to discuss about. There is a card that people are playing. It's not the Kaiju, but it's very similar to the Kaiju. It's the Santa Claus. Santa Claus, yes, Santa Claus.
Oh, I play that right now in my Math Mech deck.
Don't you think Santa Claus is a good addition to this, especially in the mirror too? Like, I think having Santa Claus might make the difference. It's also because it's a Kaiju that you can special summon basically in defense. My main concern about your deck list right now is the fact that I don't see an out to Ibli.
No, I play Lingeriba.
Oh.
I actually was testing the day of, and someone who entered the event...
Never mind, sorry. I actually didn't see Lingeriba. That was crazy.
Someone who entered the event, Ibli locked me. So I was just leaving my extra deck on. I'm just going to play Lingeriba. And then it came up in 2 of my top 32 games. So that was kind of funny. The Psalm ripped it out, but I had Driver in hand, and I was going to normal summon because I thought it was funny. But he just like FTK'd me, which wasn't very funny.
Okay. Thank you for the showcase of this amazing deck list. Let's move on to Luca Sacco. Luca, give me your thoughts about your deck list. I have a couple of questions. First of all, if you're playing the Tunneler, don't you feel like one Benkei is enough? And why are you playing one scale if you're playing double Bankade? The second question I have is why Soul Claw over the Spy? And the third question I have is there were another question. Is that something related to your extra deck? You're missing something in your extra deck. What are you missing?
Some people play Savage,
No.
Exciton, another Zeus.
There were a card that you said that you wanted to play in your extra deck.
It was a second Zeus.
A second Zeus. Okay, so let's move over those questions.
Most of the time that Benkei gets like disrupted, it goes to the extra deck, so then it can't get recycled with Tunneler. So that's like one of the reasons that you do need 2 of these for the grind game, in my opinion. It's also just a Rhoda once you see Engine as well, so I don't think it's a bad card to draw. Whereas Scales like productively does nothing, unless it's like very situational as an extender. Soul Claw was fine. I don't think I'd play it in the future, but the whole synergy is that it's a second gearbox target. So if we go for a normal combo, we use Tunneler, or we use Gearbox to get to Tunneler. Then later in the game, we can go make Gigantic, or Gigant X add Gearbox from grave, Gearbox adds Soul Claw from deck.
Mm-hmm.
And then that just gives us more bodies to pend and more extenders.
Mm-hmm.
Soul Claw will probably just be replaced with even more non-engine, because I don't think this deck needs too much engine. And then the secondary Zeus or Exciton.
I like the explanation with the gearbox. Okay, so.
And then the secondary Zeus, it's either you play a second Zeus or you play Exciton. Exciton gives you kind of like the tier limit explanation of like when they played Exciton. It gives you like a package that gives you to basically a 4-wipe Zeus. And then you basically have 2 of those 2-wipe packages if you play Exciton. But Zeus might just be better. I'm not sure what I'll take out. The access code and unicorn aren't fully necessary in the deck because you have other ways to kill. So one of that package might come out for a secondary Zeus and then like a Savage or something. I'm not too sure yet.
I like the Merrymaker. I think it came out a couple of times. I don't know if I like Baguska. I feel like Baguska against Shifter, but that's about it. And it doesn't even save you against Shifter. Like it's alright. Like did actually the Baguska save you sometimes?
Yeah, so it's for Shifter and Droll, because Droll also hurts. And then you just make like a judgment call based on how many hand traps you have. Like if you think you can live, and if you don't think you can live, you just like commit your search into a Baguska, and then you have a Baguska plus probably 1 hand trap, and that's definitely enough not to die.
Mm-hmm. Like we saw you playing conservative, even though you could have extended because you were surviving through hand traps after this being disrupted.
Yeah.
About the side deck, I mean, Eccentric, I think it's mandatory. A 3-off. Kurikara, I think it's mandatory. Retaliating, say. There is a nice card against Purrely. How did it perform this tournament?
Retaliate, I played exactly 1 Purrely, and I didn't see it until game 3, and I did not have to use it in game 3.
Mm-hmm.
So, in theory, this card hits multiple matchups because it hits every Runic deck as well. I don't know. It might just be better in the OCG because they get to search for this really cool level 2 insect monster after this goes to the graveyard.
I'm kind of curious why you played Veiler in the main deck over Troll.
I don't know how Droll was into the event. I assumed there would be a lot of Kashtira here just because people would have less testing, so they would just pick the deck they already had. And Droll is, in my opinion, not fantastic against Kashtira, just because you still have to deal with Unicorn Fenrir, and that's like 2 disruptions that are like progressively good into the grind game. And if our plan is just to Zeus them, we probably end up losing then because they have like 4 cards in hand.
I see that.
Whereas Veiler's like a progressively good hand trap. It plays into tactics, but there's no way for us not to play into tactics in this deck.
Oh, so you think Veiler is better than Droll in this specific deck?
Yes. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. The Drolls might come into the main deck as time goes on. I don't know how I feel about Gamma in the main, and Gamma might come to the side.
I mean, you have to protect yourself from Ogre, no?
I think that, to be honest, people are going to stop ogring the Prodigy if it's first action, just because of how common Gamma will be in the deck. Because to be honest, there's two very good ogre targets. Because if you ogre the Scarecrow, it doesn't resolve as well, and that's technically +1. But it also is just like it's a hard stopping point for them because then they don't have a body for their Peacemaker either.
Mm-hmm.
Did you like the main deck Fenrir?
Yeah, main deck Fender was one of the best
I
cards
like
in this
that.
event. So if you get hand trapped to death, but you open Fender, then you just like use Fender to make your links to climb, and then pen summon. And you just pen summon the second Fender that you searched. Also, taking Fenders came up quite a bunch because Kastira is still quote unquote the best deck.
How do you
Yeah,
search the kaiju?
with Genius. So main combo, you go.
Genius, okay.
Yeah, you go summon Genius, Genius search Kaiju, make Merrymaker, Sargus, Sargus search Regulus. So then your inboard passing is a 3 Appaloosa, Baron Regulus with Soul Piercer. Soul Piercer is your follow up, plus you get 1 piece of follow up off of a wagon. And then you have a Kaiju in hand. So even if they Dark Rule your board, you have a Kaiju in hand plus 2 pieces of follow up. And I think that's a lot better than just taking everything that you own and summoning a Cyberstein into a
No,
Exterior.
I agree.
for the
I
Dark
think I
Ruler.
like this the most, to be honest. I think
There's,
I like this a lot.
There's another approach to it where you can just go Saryuja, and off of the Genius you can search
Yeah.
for Spell Canceller.
Yeah, spell cancel. I saw that combo. I'm not a huge fan of that. It's like you commit too much, and if your
Mhm.
opponent like is playing a combo deck that's based on monsters effect, then yeah you're kinda balling down then. And what about the MVP? Magnum Mutant Druids.
The top deck monster? That card's pretty good. I just tossed that game too. It should have ended very fast. I should have gone in phase Druid Swarm on the Diameter. And then like first action, he goes Heat Soul, and then I go main phase and just Kurikara him.
He
And that's
toasted
lethal.
it too. He didn't normal summon Diameter.
Oh yeah, I saw that shit. That was fucking hilarious. Sorry. That was very, very funny.
That was very, very funny. Now, let's talk about how to destroy your deck. So there is a card
Oh,
actually
are we
kills
talking
the
about
entire
the
deck.
rainbow? I don't want to talk about the rainbow. That
and
card's
it's
scary.
Rainbow. So you
No.
guys might think that this deck is gonna be amazing and it's gonna cause a buyout, blah, 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 blah.
Nesh,
Now,
let me
let's
order
kill
my
the
30
deck.
copies first, please.
So you side 3 cards of this card, and basically Samurai will never win against you when you go first. It's called the Performance 5 Rainbow Magician, and it says if your opponent controls 0 spell and trap set cards, all the monsters they control cannot attack or activate their effect. So that's about it. I mean, Samurai cannot play spell and traps, so they cannot set cards. You side this as 3 copy in your side deck, and good game, my friend. Okay, that was nice. Thank you guys for coming, and congratulations, Lucas Sacco, for winning, and congratulations to Anthony's $20 for the second place. The prize is still amazing, and I wish you guys a wonderful day. See you
Thank you.
next time.
Hey, Nesh,
Thanks for
would
hosting.
you mind going to the Discord real fast and looking at that replay I just sent?
Oh, which one?
The